There are 2, there are 4, there are 6, there are 8, shunting trucks and hauling freight. Red and green and brown and blue, they're the really useful crew, all with different roles to play. Round hitting the shed so far away, down the hills and round the bends, Thomas and his friends. Heinz in Trouble. The island of Sodor is a very special place. On this island, there are lots and lots of railway lines. Sir Topham Hatt is the controller of the railroad. His engines, Thomas, Edward, Henry, Gordon, James, Percy, Toby, and Emily, were very proud of this. And happy, too. But the most thing that is even specialer about it is that Sir Topham Hatt brings the Danville locos from the tri-state area to help his engines. Most of them would be Vanessa, Phineas, Ferb, Candace, Stacy, Isabella, the Fireside Girls, Addison, Ginger, Gretchen, Holly, Katie, and Millie, Buford, and the newest addition, Django. Candace, Phineas, and Django help with the passenger trains. Stacy takes the freight trains for Henry. Vanessa, Ferb, Isabella, and Buford help in the shunting yard. And the Fireside Girls help Victor fix engines at the steamworks. Phineas, Ferb, and their friends were very happy to help Thomas and his friends out. They also love to be called really useful engines as well. One day, James was very excited. He was off to meet a new engine at the yard. He arrived at the yard and found Sir Topham Hatt waiting for him there. "Good morning, James. You are right on time to meet the new diesel engine on Sodor." "Thank you, sir. Is that the new engine?" Yes it is. This is Heinz. Dr. Heinz Doofenshmirtz. He needs to learn what to do with freight cars, James. Please teach him." Yes, sir. I'll see what I can do to help." "Ah, hello, James. It is the first time I've met you. Your controller had told you to help me with those cars." "I know all about cars. They're cheeky, troublesome, they're foolish, they're tricky, and other things like that. I can handle those cars, piece of cake." "Oh, if you're sure then, perhaps I can watch you from the side of Action Canyon to see how well you're doing." Heinz, delighted to show off in front of James, rolled into the sidings. James watched from the sidings as Heinz was preparing himself, ready to pull a long line of freight cars. 2 of them at the front were empty black ones. The rest of them were gray. The 2 black ones haven't been used for about... well, I'd say give it a couple of weeks so far. Heinz found this very difficult to move the cars. Forward! Backward! Reverse! Reverse! The cars giggled and laughed as Heinz bumped them. "Hold back! Hold back!" You know, James, I'm a very new kind of a clever diesel engine back in the tri-state area. I still got a few tricks that can trick these freight cars. Watch this! Heinz pulled and pushed, and pulled and pushed, and pulled and pushed, and pulled and pushed. Then Heinz pulled so hard, some of the brakes on the freight cars broke loose. Heinz shot forward out of the yard and onto the open line with the cars still behind him. James could see that Heinz was in trouble. Bust my buffers! Heinz must have pulled the cars too hard! Now he's losing control! I must race after Heinz and save him! Heinz was so far away from Willsford Station, so frightened, he ran right over Gordon's Hill with James puffing his hardest, trying to catch up with him. After that, Heinz was pleased when he got to the bottom of the hill. But not for long. Up ahead was the place where he has to stop. Uh-oh, this is not good. Hold on, Heinz! Here I come! In no time, James quickly buffered up to the rear freight car. Both he and Heinz didn't notice that the points were switched to a siding. James slammed on his brakes as hard as he could, but the freight cars were too heavy. Heinz rattled over the junction and they swerved into a siding towards a set of buffers. Heinz shut his eyes. When Heinz opened his eyes, he saw he had stopped just in front of the buffers. James was very tired, as he was now as red as his paintwork, but he soon had a chance to get his breath back. There, staring at them from the platform, was Sir Topham Hatt. What is going on here? Heinz told me that he knows how to handle cars by himself, sir. It was my fault, sir. I was trying to show James how well I can handle trucks. But I don't know anything about trucks at all. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry, James. You have a lot to learn about freight cars, Heinz. After shunting them in the yard for a week or two, you'll know almost as much about them as James. Then you'll be a really useful engine. Yes, sir. From now on, James, I want you to show me how to handle cars first thing tomorrow. Agree. First thing tomorrow. Oh, and Heinz, wait until all my friends hear about this when I get to Tidmouth Sheds. Oh, bother!